They say that love is blind. Is it?
There's only one way to find out. So in this video today, Cece and I, we're going to share our thoughts, our feelings, our views on how blind or not blind love could be. So stay tuned.
Hello, Blissful friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Blissology podcast. I am your host, Cece, and I'm joined by my husband.
Hey, everybody, this is Willem, and welcome to another episode of the Blissology podcast.
Hey, everybody.
If this is your first time with us, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when we put out these videos. Now, this is a weekly podcast where we talk about...
On this podcast, we talk about love, life, family, relationships, politics, love. And whatever else is going on, we're going to talk about it. You know, as you know, this is what we do here. We talk about relationships. So as you guys know, before we get into the topic of the day, we like to go into a blissful moment, which is...
It was confusing.
Very confusing.
That's the only thing I say. It was confusing. It took me a moment to figure it out. It took her a moment to figure it out.
It took
Up until
me.
this point, I just can't figure out how did that happen. Now, you're probably wondering, what are we talking about?
How did that happen? Seriously, guys. Seriously.
Here's what happened.
Our daughters. Their shenanigans. Their shenanigans.
They take lunch, and somehow they said, I mixed the lunch boxes.
What you did?
Understandably, I could have missed them. Hey,
You
listen,
did.
I'm not perfect, and I've mixed them in the past.
Several times.
Now, here's what happened. The older one took lunch first.
Right.
Ate the contents.
Ate
of
her
that
food.
Lunch box.
Don't call it content. Call it food. Okay?
She ate the food from that lunch box. On her way to class, came across
Her
the
little
younger
sister.
one, gave her the empty lunchbox, took the lunchbox that had food in there. Now the little one didn't know. So she got to the cafeteria, sat down to eat, and opened the box. It was empty. Now she ended up buying lunch. So thank God she ended up she was able to get something to eat.
But how in the world? I was like, wait, let me get this straight. You would realize that the box was empty?
Well, you know, those are the things that sometimes kids do, and we all have had moments where we do things and we're like, "Ooh, that was one of those moments." She didn't. Now, the lunchbox she took from her younger sister, she didn't open it. She didn't do anything with it. So I know that she wasn't planning on eating her food. So somehow along the way, she figured it was a good idea. Hey, I have your lunchbox. I'm gonna give it to you.
But it's
But I'm
empty.
not gonna tell you that it's empty.
And I'm going to take mine from you.
I don't know. But you know what? Kids are kids. And as
Listen,
parents,
it was so confusing. Listen, I gotta blame. I'm blaming you first, and then I'm blaming the other one, because she should have just like hugged her sister. Hey, just so you know, you're gonna see my lunchbox in your lunch bag. So go ahead, and eat it.
That was too easy. She's like, give me my lunchbox. Here's yours. Failed to mention to the little one that, hey, there's no food in there. So either buy food when you get to the cafeteria or maybe let her eat the food. But anyway.
Listen, I was on the floor laughing my butt off. Okay, my husband was like, when we told him the story, he was like, "What? Can somebody please explain this to me?" And it was so confusing at first, but I was like, But anyways, it was funny. I feel like things happen. We'll just move on, and we had a good laugh. All right. I hope this really made your day. I hope you laughed at it while we're telling you the story, because it was funny. But anyway, so now let's get into the topic of the day, unless if you have something else to say. If you don't, let's jump right into it. Listen, let's talk about...
Is love really blind? Or is it a made up concept? Or is it a made up thing? So we all have heard it.
Is it really?
Love is blind.
You know, there's a movie, not a movie, a show called Love is Blind.
Really?
There's a song, Love is Blind by Eve. Eve.
Oh, that's an old one.
EVE. I said EVE. EVV.
Yeah, that's an old song. I mean, I was in high school when that song came out.
So yes. There's a lot of but the show, I was like, what is this mess? But yeah, there's a show out there called Love is Blind. I never watch it, but I know that it's very similar to Married at First Sight ish kind of way.
Okay.
But yeah, let's talk about Love is Blind, and it's something that's very, very important. And I know in that Married at First Sight, love was really blind.
I don't think there was love, but anyway, I mean the whole concept of love is blind is really going over the fact that people can get together, you know, without considering the physical factors. You know, how you look, how tall you are, how short you are, how built you are, how skinny you are, how fat you are. You know, you can look beyond all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And still emotionally connect with this person. So in that sense, love can be blind. I mean, we've seen couples that on the surface, you're like, how does he or she get together with him or her?
Like I made a comment earlier.
And then, but on the surface, it may seem that way. Like it seems like they have, you know, these people have nothing in common.
Right.
You know, one's one color, the other one's another color. One is like as tall as a palm tree. The other one is as short as a piece of grass on the ground.
A piece of grass.
I mean, hey, listen, that's exaggerating. But we've seen couples that you're like, man, these people don't quite seems like they match each other.
Yeah.
But yet they're happy.
They're happy together, right?
And this is where, you know, that whole concept of love is blind really makes sense. Because if those people were looking at, hey, is this person, how cute this person is, that will determine if I get with them. Because sometimes you come across people, you're like, this is unusual.
Right. Very unusual.
You know, so
very.
So yeah, but when people can get with each other and can, you know, their love, their affection for each other goes beyond the physical appearance.
Yes.
In those cases, love is blind.
You know, sometimes I feel like nowadays, you know, with society now, it can be hard for you to be with someone where you look first at the attraction, the appearance, right? Because I feel like nowadays people tend to look for, okay, if he's not cute, I'm not gonna get with him or with her. That love thing, to me, I feel like it needs to start as a friendship, right? Yeah. If we have this friendship connection going, then eventually things might go to the next level. But because nowadays people are so into the looks, the eyelashes, the hair, the Kim Kardashian
Instagram model,
there you go,
or the social media,
and the social media people look. That's the perfect way of putting it, baby. Even though you're not much in social media, but yes, it's like nowadays people are looking for that first before they look for love. Like if the person don't have all the qualities that they're looking for, they don't see it.
I think that may be more common within some demographics. I think as people are trying to, as kids or young adults are trying to find themselves, look tend to play a very big role in who they hang out with. Yes. And I know, I mean, this digital world that we live in, everybody's trying to fit some kind of mold. Everybody's trying to be like somebody. Oof. Now, I think when we get older,
preach.
When we get older, like, we can look beyond those. But many of us, I think a lot of these behaviors we're developing right now, we're gonna carry them on our older age.
Yeah.
So I think when I turned 30, I mean, there's a lot of physical thing I didn't care much about. But if I was so involved, 18, my 20s, on my my mid 20s.
Yes.
Probably I would have felt differently when I hit my 30s.
Mm-hmm.
So and yes, it's becoming this thing that people are looking for these, or at least people are presenting themselves to be different in the way they actually are.
You hot. You on fire. You on fire, baby.
So I don't just
listen, you were just started and you were like dropping so much gems. Listen. listen. Okay, take this from this guy. From take notes from him.
Yeah, but in cases like this, you'll find it could be difficult finding love when it's based on all of those things that are in most cases not true at all. There's people you've seen on their Instagram profile and you see this person in real life.
You like, wait a minute.
Is that the no?
Is
Really?
she who she posting? Is she really her?
So, and you know, this you know how I feel about filters.
Yes, I do know how you feel about filters.
Because people would slim their faces.
Yes.
They'll, tuck in their guts. They'll put on a little bit of muscles. They'll soften their skins.
I do that sometimes.
And I can't stand it. Now,
Sometimes.
I think people, we can get creative with ourselves. We can make ourselves look the way we feel. That's fine.
Yes.
But when that becomes kind of like becomes the you, and it becomes a more you than your actual you, then that's a problem.
Yes.
And in those cases, love is not quite blind, because when you're looking for that superficial being that doesn't exist, you won't find it.
Yeah, and I feel like too sometimes, that person becomes fake in a way where they're not the real you. Like if you trying to be, like my husband says, social media, what word did you use again? Social media
people.
Okay, I think it's something else.
I think that's I don't recall what I said.
Anyways, yeah.
You can rewind this and you'll see.
Yeah. The thing is, if you are a young woman, right, in your early 20s, and at some point in your mid 20s, you like to settle down and find you someone, like you in college or you working, and you feel like you ready to go to the next level. You gotta be able to be yourself. You gotta be true to yourself. You gotta be like, okay, am I really ready to commit, or am I just like, or do I need to just focus on my school? And when I'm ready, I know that I'm ready. And I'll know that I have to date this person and be friend with them first and date them and then see if there's chemistry there. And then eventually, things will fall into place. But if you're like a young woman in their, early 20s, like 22, 23, and you so hyped on, man, you gotta find a man, you gotta find someone, like there's a saying that we use, your clock is ticking, if you don't find this person.
20? Your clock is broken.
If you don't find this guy or this girl by the time you're 25 or 26, something's wrong with you. Like, who say that? Who says that something's wrong with you? No, like I always said, if you are in your early 20s, enjoy life.
Now, let me say this. In our community, sometimes people may make you feel like something's wrong. Once you reach a certain age, everybody's asking, when are you? When are you? When are you? When are you? And you get to the point you're getting tired.
What? Yes.
Why do you keep asking? Why do you keep asking?
And then you leave the community.
They do that.
But then it's like when you're like late 20s, that's like when you're 28, 29, then yeah, we're gonna wonder what's going on,
I'll do it when I'm ready.
And then again, it's your personal business. I don't get in people's business like that unless if I'm invited to your business, then I'll talk to you about, hey, let's see what's the next step is. But
I can see my own next step. You don't have to say it for me.
But then there's people that need advice from,
if they come and ask for advice, yes. But if I'm not asking anyone advice about settling down, I don't need you to give it to me.
If I don't if I don't ask for it, then you shouldn't be all up on my business. You shouldn't be all in my business saying, "Hey, when are you getting married? When are you gonna have kids?" Or especially when you like in your late 20s, like when are you getting married? You've been single for a long time, but you gotta be able to know that you're ready for you to know that you're ready to be in a relationship. You can't be like all playing around,
Yeah, but let yourself be mature. I think when it comes to someone getting a relationship and being able to look beyond the physical appearance, you have to have some level of maturity to know that looks is a very tiny part of that whole life together thing. Because that looks is temporary.
You gotta have some looks for me.
We all have our preferences. I mean, we all have things that attract us to each other.
There's people with money.
We have that. However, if you're looking to build something long term,
yes,
don't just jump on the first cute guy or cute girl you see and says, "That's it, I'm marrying you." No, you could be signing a death sentence.
What are the qualities that a man look for in a woman?
I know I can't speak for men. I could just speak for myself.
Well, let's just say a young man who's like in his late 20s and think that he's ready to settle down.
Well, someone that young, most likely looks will be like the first thing that gets them, the first thing that attracts them.
In their late 20s?
However, in mid to late 20s, actually late 20s more, because as guys, we tend to mature a little bit later in life, but then again, it varies. However, the younger we are, the more we focus on look. But as we get older, as we mature, then we start looking at other things. Does the person have a good attitude? Because that could be draining on any guys. You're with a girl that has a stanky attitude. Jeez. It makes you want to do things you shouldn't be doing. So, but as we get older, we start looking at different things. But it all depends on how mature that person is and how serious they are. Because if a guy's just looking to have fun, they're just going to pick up the cutest girl and have fun with her.
And then that's it.
That's not a good thing to do because that's someone's daughter and I'm raising daughters. So
yeah.
Many guys think that way. Now, I don't know all guys, so don't think that I'm generalizing what guys
No. I'm just saying, from a guy's point of view, those are the things that, a guy would look for when it comes to settle down, when it comes to oh my God, I'm ready to take that next step. Well, you know what I mean?
Personality is important. You want to get someone who's presentable. Someone that you can bring home to your parents and they won't start questioning you. Where did you pick them up? On the side of the street or something? So personality is important. Someone who's educated. I think that's very important to me because I need to be able to have an intellectual conversation with you. So if I'm talking and you're like sitting here, you have no idea what I'm talking about, and it's like the simplest thing, then I have issues with it.
Yes.
Hey, listen,
this is why we talked about last week. And age sometimes make a big difference when it comes to, being in that level.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about very sophisticated topic. I'm talking about maybe it's some general things that we're discussing. I'm expecting you to at least have an opinion and be able to articulate yourself and share your opinion. That's what I'm talking about. Someone who's educated. I'm not expecting you to be an expert. There's things that I know nothing about, but we can find ways to have a conversation about it. So yes, I'm looking because that education is important. Respectful, that's important because if someone is respectful, they respect themselves, which means they will not present themselves in any which way, but they'll respect me as well. So, and obviously, you gotta have some look. I mean, for me, that's my preference. You gotta have, you gotta have some look. I can't speak for every guys. Some men are they'll take anything, and that's on them. So for girls, what do you or what would you look for if you were picking?
Like to be in a serious relationship, or to just have to
be in something that may develop into you loving this person.
Well, I know it depends it depends. Like if I am like ready to settle, I'm one of those girls that don't just like to date, have multiple dates or guys or whatever you want to call it. I'm more like, okay, I see someone that may be a potential, and then I have my way around that person. Yes, looks matters to me. Reason being is because when you with that person, you look more confident, right? You present yourself. This is who you are. This is your spouse, your husband, and it makes you look more like a cute couple per se. Because I'm not gonna lie, okay, us girls, back in high school, we have this picture perfect of our husband to be look like. We have this beautiful picture, tall, black skin, with the beard and brown, black, chocolate color, whatever you want to call it, build up, muscle up. Yeah, like when I was younger, I was never attracted to, skinny guys or someone who's like, I don't want to say not fit, but it was more so for me like a tall person who's mature, who has his life together, and also who's respectful, and someone that I can see a future with, that I can bring to my parents. Because like I said, I was never one of those girls that want to pick Mr. Z, Mr. A, Mr. X, keep dating until I find someone. When you settle, when you know what you want, when you see it, you go after it. You have your ways, ladies, right? You don't just like present yourself like, hey, I like you, I want you. No. There's a way that you present yourself that makes a person wants to approach you. I'm just saying.
I had no chance. The moment that she saw me, I was gone.
Whatever. That is so not true. That is so not true. God gave us this gift, ladies. We got to use it to flirt. We know we have ways to do certain things. We have to use our gift. Yes, looks sometimes, looks matters to a lot of us, There's some girls where height doesn't matter. Height did matter to me. I didn't want someone who's the same height as me because I'm 5'6". Although my husband thinks that I'm short, I don't consider me short. I consider me average height. So yes, all these things matters. And I think that's I cannot just be all fake when it comes to dating someone. I have to be myself. I have to be real with that person. I have to be able to tell you, hey, listen, I like you, but I don't see whatever. I consider us friend, but you have to be able to be bold enough to let that person know that, hey, it's just not going to work out. But I want to answer this question, but why do we become blinded by love?
Well, we don't become blinded by love. I think as we get matured, as we become more mature, there's certain things that are not as important to us. Now, that's not me saying that, just let yourself go and someone is going to pick you up. Mm-hmm. You still got to take care of yourself. Whether you're a man or whether you're a woman, you still got to take care of yourself. Now, what I'm saying by there's certain things that are not so important as we become very mature is that your facial features will not be the main thing that determines whether or not we consider something. Yeah. You could be bald-headed as a woman and I could still, yeah. And this is where, your hair does not have to be straight. You don't have to wear makeup all the time. You don't have to be the cutest person. I can see qualities in you beyond this, but that comes with maturity. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's not that we're blind. Not every man, though. It's not that we're blind because anyone is with someone, they see something.
Right.
It may not be what I see, but you'll only be with someone if you're attracted to them in some way. Mm-hmm. So, yes, I may see this person and think, man, this is not the prettiest lady. But to the person who's with that lady, to them, this is their gal. This is the person.
This is their
and this is
queen.
where we all have preferences.
Mm-hmm.
Now, love is blind. There's nothing that you're just gonna marry someone without ever seeing them. No, you see something.
Married at first sight happened.
That's a show. That's TV. That's entertainment.
But it's true. You just don't want to believe that these people really have a real life with kids.
I'm not saying people cannot develop love for each other. You can.
Then what are you saying, baby? Married at first sight is not real.
It's a show. It's real, and it's real people. I think it's scripted in some ways. It's for entertainment purposes. And yes, it's a good running show. A lot of people follows that show, hence that's why you're talking about it. But in the real world, no one in their right mind is going to get up, pick someone on the side of the street, and marry them. It doesn't make sense.
On the side of the street? Why would somebody do that?
So married at first sight doesn't work.
No, married at first sight is different. There's something that they do before the show.
That's a show, yes. They planned it. That's what I'm saying.
And they get to know the person, and then they match them with whoever that you.
It's planned. It's a TV show. So seeing someone first time and marry them
is what? It's crazy.
It's nuts. That's the only way I put it. But going back to what I was saying is love is not blind. Whoever's in love with this person, they see something. They may not see what I see, but they see something in this person. Now, it may not be with the eyes, because love is more than just sight.
Mm-hmm.
It's feelings. It's a number of things, and there's some of it you can't explain. People talk about the butterfly they get in the stomach.
You never got the butterfly.
How do you explain that? It's butterfly. No one has.
Maybe
butterfly.
You had butterfly, just couldn't explain it.
No one has actual butterfly in the stomach. It's a feeling. They use that term to define it, but how do I know what it feels like? Yes, I may have had it.
Somebody help me.
So that's me saying love is more than just what you see with the eyes. And people that are with each other, there's something. There's many things.
My poor husband.
That keeps them together. Yeah. So technically, love is not blind. To someone who's not in that relationship, they see, man, no way that there could be. But for the people who's in that relationship, they are in their zone. Not every relationship works. Sometimes they're just about to break up.
Well, yeah.
They may just started trying out.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know. But at the end of the day, whoever's in that relationship, that's who's going to determine what works and what doesn't work. If it works, carry on. If it doesn't work,
let it go.
Apart.
Let it go.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that.
So love is not blind. This is a podcast on how we feel about whether love is blind or whether love can see. And whoever you are, if you're looking for a partner, if you're at the age or you're at the stage of your life where you know what you want, look for that in this person. If you want a pretty lady, look for a pretty lady, but usually that's not the only thing you would want if you're looking for someone to spend the rest of your life with. Yes, that's not me saying that don't marry a pretty lady. If you're a guy, most of us want a pretty lady. And the lady could be pretty in their own way. Mm-hmm. If you're a girl, most of you guys want a tall man. A man could be tall in their own way. They don't have to be the tallest, but they don't have to be the shortest either. Your preference will determine who you are with. Just know what it is that you're looking for in this person and search for it. And don't settle until you get it. Because at the end of the day, this is your life and you're going to commit to this person for hopefully the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. I know nowadays sometimes it's just a few years and then we kind of do our thing and go do something else. But many of us, we do commit for the rest of our life. So, and be open-minded in terms of allow yourself to learn about people, to know people. Because believe me, they say first impression is important. Yes, it is important. But there's a whole lot more beyond the first impression. Sometimes people may act differently around you because they're nervous. They met you the first time. There are things that they're not as comfortable. That doesn't mean they're a bad person. It means that they haven't warmed up to you yet. Give them a chance. You'll realize that could be the person that's for you. But don't cut people off so quickly. People change. So guys, thank you very much for listening to our podcast on whether love is blind. And obviously, I think love sees some stuff, right?
That's right.
So if you are in a relationship, planning on getting into a relationship, just know what you want.
Exactly.
And look for what you want in that person.
Mm-hmm.
What I'd say is be open-minded and be open to learn about people.
Yes.
Remember, they say first impression is important, and yes, it is important. But there's a whole lot more beyond the first impression.
Absolutely.
Don't be so quick to dismiss people, because sometimes people do things around strangers because they just nervous.
Mm-hmm.
They a little bit closed in because they haven't warmed up to you.
Mm-hmm.
Give people a chance. You may find out that's the person that's for you. So
your soulmate.
go out there, find the person you want, and keep looking. Now remember, know what you want and don't settle for less. Because remember, that's your life. You're going to commit to this person for
the rest of your life.
So don't settle for less than what you want, but give people a chance to show you what they have.
Absolutely.
So this is our podcast. We appreciate you listening and sticking around until the end. If this is your first time with us, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so
you don't miss out on our next videos.
Absolutely. And please drop us some likes.
Yeah, and leave some comments down below, okay? Because I read the comments and well, you don't do it. Somebody gotta do it, okay? So yes, leave some comments and email us, and we thank you for continue sharing and liking and watching our videos. Yes, we appreciate you.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of you guys that's been supporting us since the beginning of this journey that we've been on. So really appreciate you sticking around and sharing this, because we've gotten a lot of shares and we appreciate that.
Yes, and as always, it costs you nothing.
Absolutely.
To share them.
And don't forget to check us on the audio channel. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, SoundCloud. So until next time, see you guys.
Bye.
Peace. Peace.